So, welcome everybody. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, there was a time when I guess the computer was kind of muted last week. Hold on. Okay. I don't know what those light streaks are on top of my camera.
Trudy, I can't hear you very well.
You can't. I don't know
No.
what to do about that. That's what was happening last week, and I went into all the settings. I'm on my own here with it. I went into all the settings and the output is the maximum. Do you know what I mean? It's like can you still not hear me very well?
A little bit better.
Wow.
It sounds just dull a little bit, right? So
It sounds what a little bit?
a little bit dull, like you're not speaking into the microphone.
I know. I mean, but I'm just thinking I know, but I am. Let's see if I bring it closer to my face. Is that better? Not
Yeah,
much.
not much, no.
There's something going on, and the AirPods weren't working either last week when I tried them. So that's very frustrating, and I'm sorry. All right, welcome everybody to Sunday Morning Sitting Group. I'm going to fiddle with the sound for a few minutes while we wait for everybody to arrive. So, thank you for your patience with that. Welcome if you're new to Insight LA and to the group. Uh, I'll explain what we're doing in a couple minutes after I fiddle with the sound. In the meantime, you all can just see who's here, who's actually showing up on this first gathering in the new year, and who might still be away or otherwise busy. So many people are saying the sound is fine, and some people are saying it's kind of muted. And let's see, I think that Bernard made a suggestion in the chat. Let me see. So make sure that, yes, that your own volume is maximized because honestly, I don't know what else to do on my end. I guess, if it really is a problem for many of you to hear me, then I will have to get somebody in here to work on the computer. Um, could I just see a show of hands of for who can hear my voice clearly? Those of you who have your cameras on. Okay, many of you. So we're just going to go forward, and for anybody who can't hear me well, I apologize, but it will be uploaded and posted on the Inside LA YouTube, as it always is every week. So that could give you a chance to listen with better audio. So, yes, just settling in. We'll take another minute. People are still arriving. And about your camera, I do love to see your face, and it's completely fine if you want to leave your cameras off, um, either during meditation or during the talk. It's entirely up to you. Whatever makes you feel most comfortable is fine with me. Okay, so let's begin. My name is Trudy. I'm the founder of Insight LA. This is our Sunday morning sitting group. It meets every Sunday with me and my colleagues, teachers I have mentored over the years. And every teacher who teaches this group is a very good teacher. None of us is completely consistent, including me. The blessing of being able to have a relationship with you all and meet with you more than once is that we get to know each other, and sometimes it's great, sometimes it may not be so great, but we're here and we're doing our practice together, and that's what is most important. So, uh, for those of you who might be new to this group, the way that we do it is pretty simple. We meditate for about a half an hour, and then we have some teachings and some conversations. So the group is, the time is kind of divided into thirds, um, with one third meditation practice, one third uh, listening to teachings practice, and one third sharing with each other practice. And then at the end of the formal time together, there's a break of 10 minutes, and then you can go into breakout groups. And that's a chance to talk together and get to know each other a little better and explore some of the things that are arising in your practice that you might not feel comfortable or have a chance to explore in the larger group. So, with that said, uh, let's meditate together. I do some guided meditation and also leave you plenty of time and room for silence. You can either close your eyes or lower your gaze or turn your back, as Bernard does, to not be distracted by everybody. Whatever works for you. And we just begin by taking a deep breath in and releasing that breath. Breathing in again, conscious deep breath, and slowly exhaling, gently, slowly exhaling. And one more time. And during this part of the sit, I just want to invite you to rest your attention with the movement of the breath in the body. This is a grounding practice. Feeling the sensations in the body that are associated with the movement of the breath. The rise and fall of the diaphragm and the belly. And the feeling of that, the sensing and feeling of the expansion and contraction as we breathe in and out. Expansion of the lungs and rib cage. That gentle movement of rising and falling with each breath in and each breath out. And all four possible postures of the body are very grounding. Sitting upright, standing, lying down, relaxing on the earth, and walking. allowing the rhythm of the breath the simplicity of the breath, breathing in and out. This rhythm of arising and passing. Just feeling how true, how simply true this process is that we can know and trust and find our home within. And just noticing all the mental activity, any wanting things to be different, any restlessness with the way things are. Any dullness or sleepiness there may be, or distractedness. And allowing the rhythm of breathing to steady and smooth the heart, the mind that might be bouncing around. Making sure that you are muted. And allowing any sounds of life around you to simply bring you back into the present moment. And when you notice the mind wandering away into the past, whatever may have come before this moment, or dancing into the future, imagining what may happen next, hopes and plans and dreams. Just relaxing back into that rhythm of the breath, moving at its own natural way. The beauty of the breath as a subject of meditation, and the same goes for sensations in the body or sounds of life, if the breath isn't a soothing or relaxing subject for your meditation. But the beauty of it is that it's already happening. We don't have to make it happen. Sounds happen by themselves. Sensations arise by themselves. The breath, too, arises and passes away by itself. The effort isn't to make it happen, but to stop running away from it and simply relax back into this breath, this moment. Breath by breath, moment by moment. Each sound, each sensation, each breath arising, appearing, being born, having its moment, and vanishing, passing away, disappearing, over and over again. Mindfulness, awareness of this rhythm, of being present, of leaving, of returning. Just seeing this process actually is grounding, provides stability. As we sit or lie down or walk or stand in the midst of this uncertain, ever-changing life. And as for the mind states, the emotions, all the feelings, not so much sensations in the body, but the feelings of the heart that arise and pass away and sometimes excite, sometimes torment. Whatever the feelings may be, instead of being lost in them, standing next to them on the ground of breath, body, presence with this moment's experience. And now shifting the body back ever so slightly, just relaxing back into receiving this moment. And taking a few minutes or just a few moments to appreciate the simplicity of being present here and the intention that brought you here. Maybe offering some kind words of praise for yourself for being here, taking this time for you. To get to know yourself better. Exploring what helps you feel grounded and stable in your heart. Just offering some gratitude to yourself for doing this. And then for the last few minutes of this sit, just taking a breath and pausing to ask, what is my intention? What is your intention for being present in your life for this year? Asking this question very gently, not in any critical way, and not having to answer, just posing the question. So, Happy New Year, everyone. I am back in LA, speaking to you from the unceded lands of the Chumash, Tongva, Seas people. And yeah, happy to be back here. And today I want to talk a little bit about wise intention as we begin the new year. And I'm happy to see some of you I haven't seen for a while. Deborah, and who else has their, hi. Who else has their camera on? Not so many people, but that's fine. Um, Hi, Liz. Hi, everybody. And I'd like to take a break now for just before I begin the talk, maybe just 2 or 3 minutes, because I would like each of you to have a candle. We're going to do a little ritual of setting an intention, different from New Year's resolutions. Um, if you could get a candle, some of you probably already brought one because I mentioned it last week. If you could get a candle and a piece of paper. And we're not going to use it right away, but I just want you to have it with you. So, given that this is our first gathering in 2022, uh, it just it's very fitting to talk about wise intention and how intention is really different from New Year's resolutions, which I've never had very much success with those. And I always felt bad about it until when I first moved to LA. I was looking for a place to sit, and I went to the Zen Center, ZCLA, the Zen Center of Los Angeles, for a New Year's Eve celebration. And their teacher, Wendy Nakao at Gyoku Roshi, gave a talk, and they have a ceremony where you speak about your New Year's resolution, how you did with it during the year. And when it was her time to speak, and everybody was saying, I remembered it for a while, then maybe I forgot it, and then I couldn't do it at all, or different people having different things to say. And then when it got to Egyoku Roshi's turn, she said, I forgot mine as soon as I made it, and I never thought about it again. And she said it without any apology or any sense of shame. And I thought, oh, yes, that's my girl. I've just felt so liberated by hearing her say that. So we're not going to make New Year's resolutions, which we will inevitably break. We're going to set intentions, and intentions are different. You can't break them. You just maybe sometimes run away from them or lose sight of them, but they're always there, and you can always come back to them. The beginning of the whole path, the Eightfold Path that the Buddha laid out in his brilliant psychology and philosophy of how to live, at the very beginning is wise understanding and wise intention, right view and right intention, sometimes called. And the wise understanding or the wise view has to do with understanding that we, who are we really and what is this world? Seeing the way things actually are, that they are actually impersonal, ever changing, that they do involve some suffering and that we can work with that, but that it's not just an individual matter, that we can free our hearts and see that the way things are is so much bigger than the way we often perceive them to be, and that it's not all arranged according to the self. No matter how hard I carefully create, these lotus blossoms of experience, and yet, the petals wilt and then they go back into the muck, right? Inevitably. So uh, it's really seeing the way things are, the impermanence, the selflessness, the vastness. And then, given how it is, using our capacity, our free will, our capacity to form an intention, how do we want to live through that? Uh, Frank Ostaseski has this beautiful phrase, "What does love want me to do today?" What is life calling me to do? How do I want to move through the world? And in the first line of the Dhammapada, uh, it said, and this is a teaching of the Buddha compiled where the teachings are they're presented in pairs, and I'm going to read you the first pair. The first pair. Um, all phenomena are preceded by the heart. You could say the mind, ruled by the heart, made of the heart. Some translations say mind. Achan Cha, Jack's teacher, always said heart, which I love. And mind heart is chitta in Sanskrit and Pali. It's the same. I love that there's not a distinction between thinking and feeling. It's mind heart. Um, Phenomena are preceded by the heart, ruled by the heart, made of the heart. If you speak or act with a corrupted heart, then suffering follows you, as the wheel of the cart and the track of the ox that pulls it. Phenomena are preceded by the heart, ruled by the heart, made of the heart. If you speak or act with a calm, bright heart, then happiness follows you like a shadow that never leaves. That's a big promise, isn't it? That's a big promise. And I think it's a promise we really need at the beginning of this year, flooded with invisible virus. What are they? What's the difference between aerosols and anyway, invisible bits of virus floating all around us, being told it's the most contagious disease in the history of our lifetimes. And, you know, we really need this teaching because there's so much that has been frustrating and disappointing to have to deal with another holiday season disrupted by uh, sickness or the fear of sickness. And I know that Jack and I had to change our travel plans not to go teach in Costa Rica. And the good news is we'll be here around most of the time. Actually, next Sunday we'll be teaching because need to do it by Zoom. But uh, but it's also, I'm sure many of you, there's changes of plans are among the most minor losses that people are experiencing during this time. Forget about losses of income, of loved ones, of um, all kinds of things. So, this teaching that phenomena are preceded by the heart, ruled by the heart, made of the heart, and if you speak or act with a calm, bright heart, then happiness follows you like a shadow that never leaves. Um, this is a big promise that I take heart in hearing. And it also helps me have some patience or more patience with the changes that need to happen in the world, whether because of pandemic response, wiser pandemic response, climate change, racial, environmental injustice, all kinds of injustice. All these things need to be solved in the human heart. Um, and because the pair goes on, the pair of, if you speak or act with a negative mind, negative things follow. If you speak and act with a positive, bright mind, positive things follow. It goes on to say, hostilities are not stilled through hostility. Hate never ceases by hate. Hostilities are stilled through non hostility. This is an eternal law. Hatred only ceases by love. This is an unending truth. Unlike those who don't realize that we are here on the verge of perishing, those who do, their quarrels are stilled. In other words, when we forget about impermanence, when we forget about our mortality, um, it's easy to get stuck on being angry at each other, disappointed in each other. You did this, you failed to do that, etc., etc. When we realize death is uncertain, it can come at any moment. My beloved friends Katie J and Gabriel, they had so many plans and dreams for their lives and for the world, right? Um, when we realize we simply do not know, it really helps, yes, still our quarrels. So these are these teachings help us understand that it has to be solved in the human heart. And we need the examples of people who are doing this like each other. You may feel it's just some very simple, humble little thing, your practice, but it matters. This is what you're working on in your practice, even if you haven't articulated it, to yourself that way. But everybody has a gift. Every single one of you has a gift. Uh, you can read this teaching in the Dhammapada, it's called, and there's lots of different translations. Everybody has a gift, even if it's just a smile offered to somebody who maybe wasn't expecting that smile. Uh, it's important. It matters. I've said this over and over because I deeply believe it is true. I have faith in this. I have trust in this, and I want to convey that to you. If you take one breath and pause, like you did in the meditation, and ask, just asking, what is my intention? If you're in the middle of an argument if you're lucky enough to live with people during the pandemic and you're arguing with them, you just taking one breath and pausing and saying, what is my intention here? Do I want to be right or do I want to be close? Do I want to be right or do I want to live in harmony? And listen to what they have to say without getting all defensive about it. Um, my friend and colleague Seymour Borstein, Sylvia's husband, who passed away this past year, he used to do a lot of couples therapy, and he would always ask couples to ask themselves this question when they were in the heat of, whatever. And it can be any kind of relationship, work or familial or romantic or any kind, to ask themselves, what is my intention here? Is my intention to make them feel bad, to just grind in my rightness? Um, you know, what is my best intention? Then my whole tone of voice shifts, my consciousness shifts, right? What does love want me to do today? So, this long term intention, this setting of the heart, setting of the compass of the heart, the direction of your spirit, this is really important and it can be done. We're all kind of primed to do it at the beginning of the year, right? We used to go back to the gym. We go back to our Zoom exercise class and we come back to our meditation group and we're primed to do it at the beginning of the year. But we can reflect on this in any moment of any time, um, and in the Buddhist tradition, in the monastery, they take vows to receive what is given because they depend on the donations of the lay community to receive what is given and to use it well. How will I use this offering of food? How will I use it? Dhammapada, Dhammapada. Dhamma is Pali for Dharma, which is Sanskrit, Dhamma. How can I be of benefit to the world as an awakening being? And and then offering gratitude for everything that supports our life. We did a gratitude meditation last week. We'll do them again. Just everything that supports our life, from the people to the stuff to the house that we get to live in, the apartment, wherever we live, um, whatever it is that supports our life. This is what we're grateful for. And I talked about getting grounded during the meditation, because we're very reactive. The mind and heart are very reactive because all our lives we haven't really trained them. We haven't trained ourselves to what it was to stand next to these big feelings, as we call them with kids. Oh, you're having a big feeling. And we teach them that little sliver of awareness so that even little ones can begin to stand next to their big feeling and not be just completely swallowed up by it and, in lost in it. Um, there's a field of goodness that we are all in. It's called a field of merit in the classical teachings, punya, merit. In Zen, in the Soto Zen ritual, I love this phrase. It was called the formless field of benefaction. And the formless field of benefaction refers to this field of merit that we are embedded in. And this field of merit is made up of, this goodness is made up of our intentions to respect and care and live with integrity, to follow, moral precepts and guidelines, to respect and join community as you do here, to have some routines of mindfulness and loving kindness practice, uh, to keep that sense of stability and grounding in the body and the breath, um, to cultivate that groundedness in all these things that bring us some sense of steadiness and a rudder through the instability and uncertainty of the times we're living in. And I wanted to say a couple other things about this web of goodness before going on to our setting our intention together. Our lives, even if you live alone, our lives are not lived alone. Even if you are the most isolated person alone in your room, but you're online. And just being online, we live in a human context that is easy to forget, especially when we live alone. The online context, the people at InsightLA who maintain a calendar, who offer their services like Anissa and Ava to moderate and record, the whole admin team at InsightLA, the board of directors, the teachers who have dedicated their lives to service and practicing together. Uh, and beyond InsightLA, all the engineers and servers and countless beings who make it possible for us to be together like this. We live in a human context. And the gladness, whatever joy we find in our hearts and in life, bits of joy maybe, whatever little bits of appreciation and resilience that we discover in ourselves during this time, this is all part of creating that field of goodness. And this field is always available to us. Again, any moment it's available to us whenever we form the intention not to follow the negative impulses, the irritated, annoyed reactivity, the putting down of others, all these things that are so negative that we have as habits often. Each time we're aware of it, it's not like you have to erase all your habits and never have a negative thought. Well, it's not going to happen for me. I have a lot of fearful negative thoughts at different points, but being aware of them, just being aware of them, then we can have that intention not to follow. Does that take me in a direction where I want to go? If I follow this train of thought and feeling, am I going to wind up in a happier place with a brighter heart and mind? This is when we form that intention not to follow all of that stuff that doesn't bring us to happiness. This is called cultivating the field of merit, cultivating the field of goodness, of punya. And it is sustained by everybody's mindfulness and metta practice. And your practice benefits me, just like my practice benefits you. This is how we cultivate that field and sustain it. So, may our intentions, whatever your specific intentions are, and we're going to take a moment for you to reflect on that just can they be intentions that free your heart from confusion, that free your heart from clinging, that help you remember this field of goodness that we're all embedded in here, and that is always being regenerated each time we practice, each time we remember, I don't want to go there. I'm going to just change the channel or shift directions, right? That is regenerating the field of goodness, keeping it strong. Um, and it's important to remember this field so that we don't get totally obsessed with ourselves and our personal conditions. It's so easy to do. It's so easy to forget the vastness and just think, oh my God, I need this stuff from CVS. Do you know what I mean? It's just very easy. And we all do it sometimes. But, and without remembering this field of goodness, how could we not get obsessed with ourselves? It's just natural. So all of the positive intentions feed in to the well or the field or the whatever, however we want to think of it, the web, the Indra's net of goodness. Um, and it's a great thing to be alive and to join in on. And it's something that we're all doing. So let's just appreciate it and make it explicit, because this is a beautiful thing that we get to live and be alive and do this together. So now, having said that much, I would like to invite you to bring out your candle and your piece of paper and to close your eyes for a moment. Just get quiet for a moment. And reflect on your deepest wish, your intention for yourself. It can be something really simple, or something big. I'll read you a big intention while you reflect. This is the Dalai Lama's intention that comes from Shantideva's prayer. May all beings everywhere, plagued by sufferings, find an ocean of happiness and joy by virtue of my intentions and goodness. May no living creature suffer, commit evil, or ever fall ill. May no one be afraid or belittled, with a mind weighed down by depression. May those whose bodies are worn with work be restored and find rest. May the naked find clothing, the hungry find food. May the thirsty find water and delicious drinks. May the poor find wealth. May those weak with sorrow find joy. May the forlorn find hope, constant happiness, and prosperity. May there be rains and bountiful harvests. May all medicines be effective, and all generous prayers bear fruit. May all who are sick or ill be freed from their ailments. Whatever diseases there are in the world, May they never occur again. May the frightened cease to be afraid, and those bound be freed. May the powerless find power, and may people think about benefiting each other. For as long as space remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. So that's a big intention, right? That's an intention that His Holiness sets every single day. So, whatever your intention is, I want to invite you to light your candle. Oops, you can't really see my candle too well. It's a Costco battery candle, which looks pretty nice in person, actually. It has a little flame that flickers, but I don't think you can see it on the Zoom. It's a little dusty. To light your candle and to take your piece of paper and just write it down, your deepest wish, your intention. Just write it down. And you can keep it any place that you keep things, maybe on your altar, maybe paste it on your bathroom mirror so you see it all the time, on your fridge. Putting it, you can put it any place that matters to you, but for now, just write it down. And place your candle near it. And then I'm going to encourage you today, if you possibly can, to stay for the breakout rooms. And then you can share your intention with each other because it's very powerful to give voice to it. When you give voice to it and somebody hears you, it makes it more real. And for now, if anybody would like to read what you wrote, we can all witness, make it real for you, cheer you on. Is there anybody who would like to, if you would like to read yours, you could raise your hand and then Ava will call on you, or if I see you first, I will call on you to unmute and share with us. Nancy.
Hi, everyone, and Happy New Year. So, my intention for 2022, and thank you for guiding us through that. I appreciate it so much. My intention is to be less reactive to others. It is self serving, it does not recognize the intentions of others, it is judging and regenerative of negativity in myself and others. Trying to stay grounded in a place of peace and kindness. That's it.
That one has all the elements, the recognizing of what's unskillful and the intention to go in the other direction. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
I don't know if Lisa or Deborah was there first. Lisa?
Okay. No matter what is going on in the world politically or with COVID or with triggering people or events, I will find ways to have joy, meaning, and service, beauty, and calm.
Wow. Thank you. See, we inspire each other. And by the way, I made a mistake. Anissa is our moderator. Ava is recording. Sorry about that. So thank you, Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
Deborah. Whoops. Where'd you go, Deborah? Oh, there you are. Yeah, I can see you.
Okay. So I put, may there be calmness, love, and compassion in my heart. May I be and feel safe. may I continue on my path with the, and I didn't know what to call this community, the Dharma community. I don't know what to call this community,
Yeah,
but with this
Dharma
community,
the
okay,
field of goodness community.
the field, my peeps.
There you go.
um,
There you
yeah,
go.
and I've been, yeah, I just wanted to continue on this path, and that's it. So thank you.
Thank you. Nice to see you again. So we're witnessing and cheering on those who have shared their intention. Does anybody else have one that you would like to inspire us with? It has to inspire you enough that you want to share it. I mean, not that you have to, but Sherry.
Well, mine is actually uh, composed of things that I've been inspired by through this group and other InsightLA things, including the things you said last week about KDJ and Gabriel and their memorial. So I just wrote, be my best self, take care of myself, let love lead, and remember the field of kindness.
Oh, yes, that's beautiful. Those were Javier's 3 suggestions. That is great. Thank you for reminding me, Sherry.
Plus the field of kindness from today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Ritz.
Hi. So I wrote, don't expect more from people who don't really care, as it will hurt me more.
Thank you. Thank you. Don't have unrealistic what is it? There's some saying about expectations in the 12-step program that I've forgotten, but it's something like expectations are disappointments waiting to happen, something like that. So yeah, thank you for your intention to free your heart from that. Sarah.
Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. My intention is to be a better person, to pause before reacting, to choose kindness instead of anger, and to choose understanding instead of assuming others' intentions.
Oh, that's an important one. Thank you. Thank you. The one thing I do want to say about being a better person is yes, that's beautiful as long as you don't feel you have to totally change yourself, Sarah. I want us to also appreciate the goodness of who we already are, right? Thank you. Yeah.
Looks like Liz has her hand up.
What happened?
Liz, did you want to share?
Sorry, I was muted. I don't know how that happened. I did not mute myself. Liz, where are you? Oh, there you are. Hi.
I want to be like the Dalai Lama and make make kindness my religion.
Wow, thank you. Thank you for your humble aspiration.
It's not humble, it's hard as hell. I'm an aversive personality, let me tell you. I'm an aversive New Yorker. Yes, humble. It's hard as hell.
I was listening to Malcolm Gladwell's book. I think it's a book. I was listening to it anyway, called Miracle and Wonder, about Paul Simon and his music. And it was so interesting because, his music it acknowledges the poignancy and bittersweetness of the world, but it's also beautiful and upbeat. And Paul Simon was saying, I'm actually a really angry, irritable person. And when I sit down to write a song, it comes out at first just like really angry and irritable. But then I realize, who wants to hear a song about how much I can't stand this person or that person? I don't want to hear that. So I rewrite it. But I thought, that was this perfect example of what the teaching this morning was about, like being aware of the tendencies and then not going with them.
It's not easy, but it's a wonderful, wonderful task.
Yeah, thank you. And I just want to say, too, because Sherry mentioned it, that there is now a recording of the celebration of life that happened for Katie J and Gabriel, and I am free to share it if you would like to have it. You could, how would you know, however, who you would let know. Well, you could let me know if you would like to have it, and I'll send it to you. Um, I would ask you to email me, because just telling me now and then I'm going to do other things and I'll forget. My email is Trudy, Trudy, at InsightLA.org. Very simple. So if you'd like to receive a recording of that, I can send it to you. And I'll just give you a heads up that Gabriel's friend, childhood friend Chaco, made a presentation of their entire friendship from being little boys to the age that they are today. And it goes on for half an hour. And I didn't stop him because the family was really enjoying it. But you might want to fast forward through when they got their first cars and had their tequila and etc. You might not want to hear like every detail of that. So just a heads up that that's a full half hour. Okay, anybody else want to share their intention? Heather.
Hi, good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. My intention for 2022 is practicing peace in me and in the world, harmony with myself and with others, and finding purpose in life and being useful.
Thank
and
you.
I don't know about this, I just wrote it here because that just creates the most problem in my life, and along with the in terms of peace and harmony, but just walking away from right or wrong or black and white mentality.
Yes, thank you.
I don't know how to do it, but I wrote it.
That's the first step in learning how to do it, right? Is intending to learn how.
Right.
And that was something the Buddha taught, as you know, Heather, just the middle way, between these two opposites, that the mind doesn't have to just make these opposites, that it can hold them both in experience. So thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll tell you mine for today was to use all the twists and turns of this pandemic and whatever disappointments, whatever doors are closed by it, as opportunities for really diving deeper into my own practice, because I trust and know deeply that it is a benefit beyond my lifespan. And by the way, you can think about these intentions, these positive intentions, as a way to extend beyond your own limited lifespan. That when we think of our individual lives and our mortality and how it can just stop on a dime, that's not very heartening, and it can lead to anxiety or a kind of despair, like why bother kind of feeling. But when we think about the field of goodness and how we're contributing to cultivating and sustaining and regenerating it, then we realize that what we're doing actually benefits others beyond our lifetime and forever. I mean, think of the life of somebody like the Buddha. And that field of goodness was so massive, right? So huge that it's cascading down the generations, even to us now, here, today. Anybody else want to share? Oh, God, my granddaughter is FaceTiming me. Hang on one second. I just never turn her down. Hi, sweetie pie. I'm finishing up teaching my group. I'll FaceTime you in 10 minutes, okay? Sorry.
I'd like to share mine if it's okay, Trudy. But I just I've been praying for more wisdom and equanimity. Like they talk about the wing of wisdom and then the wing of compassion. So it's like, asking for wisdom and love to walk this path for the highest good.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Katie. Hi, Grace. Nice to see you. Happy New Year. Thank you, Katie. And thank you, Grace. Yum, yum. Meredith.
Sorry. Hi, Grace. Hi, Katie. Okay, so let's see. Not causing harm. Honesty, especially emotional honesty. Humility. Patience. And kindness and gratitude.
Thank you. Thank you. Beautiful. So we haven't really heard from the guys yet. Anybody who identifies as one, would you like to share any of your intentions?
I noticed that as well, so I'll throw my head in the ring here.
Good.
I wrote down, may my thoughts, words, and actions bring happiness and calm to myself and the beings I come across.
Nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Bob, Zach, Bernard, Chris.
Okay. Mine is very specific. I just want to repair my relationship with my sister. We had some bumps this year, and I just want to get back to where we were before. That's my hope.
Well, that's a powerful one because it is very specific. And the specificity of it means you're going to be able to gauge, how are you doing with it?
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Bob. Yeah. Bob.
Thanks. I don't think mine's very specific at all, actually, but I just find that I want to listen more carefully to my heart in making decisions this year. I can get kind of distracted by all sorts of is this going to work, or what's the safest thing, or what is this person going to, and when I listen to my heart, I always do what's best for me. And I know that, but I can get distracted from it and in very specific areas of my life. So that's my intention. And thank you for reminding me of that.
Yeah, well,
I've been sick lately, and in kind of a down place about it. And this is kind of picking me back up for the new year. So thank you.
Oh,
Appreciate
good.
it. Thanks,
Good.
Trudy.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry you've been sick, and I hope you're better. And whether it's repairing a relationship or something very specific like that, or whether it's these more general aspirations like most of us have, um, I think that what Bob said about trusting the heart is really the core of it. Uh, I know that I sometimes think of it as trusting my intuition, and every time I override my intuition with my mind's thoughts about, yeah, would it work or not, or whatever doubts and thoughts are generated by the fearful mind. Every time I override my intuition, trying to tell myself that I'm not seeing what I'm seeing, for example, it's a disaster. It's just a plain, sometimes horrible, sometimes just a small disaster, but it's always a disaster. So thank you for that reminder. Zach.
Hey everyone, this is actually my first time here, so really nice to meet you all. And
Oh, welcome.
thank you so much, Trudy. That was wonderful. I wrote down 2 words. I wrote down acceptance and gratitude in my daily life.
Fantastic.
So working towards those as my practices.
Yep. Fantastic. Thank you. So anybody who wants to chime in, we just have literally, a couple minutes left, but we have time. Effie, I kind of want to hear yours. I know you're so shy, so I'm torturing you by asking you. I don't mean to torture you. I'm just so interested.
Well, mine is pretty much the same intention almost, I don't know, ever since I sat Transforming the Judgmental Mind retreat at Spirit Rock. And that's to be less judgmental of others, of myself. I tend to, that's my go-to kind of place, I think, And also to be a little bit less reactive. I find that I have kind of a reactive personality. So to, take a pause before speaking,
Yeah.
as you said, think, is this what is my intention? And maybe I'll be less reactive that way. So those are, that's what I'm thinking about right now. Okay.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate your telling me.
Okay, Trudy.
How about you, Faye? Unmute. Yeah.
So I have a deep fear that's very powerful, and I hope to not to let it run my life.
That's a big one, isn't it? To where we can have the fears. It's like courage doesn't mean not having fear. It means exactly what Faye said, not letting the fears run our lives or determine what we do or don't do, unless they're healthy fears. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so let's just take a moment to sit together, unless there's somebody else who is unless you're gonna feel bad, like, why didn't I share mine? Well, you can share it in the breakout group too, but this is your very last chance if you want to share it with a larger group. Oh, Janet, is that your hand being raised? Okay.
Actually, this fear made me think of not being so concerned about money.
Okay.
That's the one thing I didn't hear.
Relaxing around your finances. That's a good one. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, everybody, let's just sit for a moment. And as we sit with all the resonances and reverberations of our being together today, we have a tradition of offering the goodness of our practice to this field, the merit, the goodness, the blessing. And this is a tradition in all three of the Buddhist traditions that's expressed in different ways according to the culture. But for us, we make this imaginative leap of imagining that whatever benefit, whatever has been helpful in this time of studying and practicing the teachings, that we express our gratitude and appreciation for the goodness that arises out of our being together and practicing together, and that we share it with all beings everywhere without exception. We just imagine our hearts like a prayer flag, just sending prayers on the ethers all around the world. May we and all beings grow in love and understanding and the wisdom to act for the benefit of each other and the peace of our world and our planet. So thank you everybody for being here this week. I'm actually not sure. I think I might get to be teaching next weekend, in which case there will be one of my colleagues teaching, and you can always find out who's teaching on the website. It's always posted. And I encourage you to please come and support the other teachers. There is always something to learn, and it's just a great time to practice in community, no matter what. So I may or may not see you next week, but I will definitely see you the week after. What do we say? God willing, inshallah, I will see you the week after. May you be well, may you keep safe, and yes, and Happy New Year, or at least Happier New Year, or as the psychoanalyst Donald Winnicott said, a good enough New Year. May we have a good enough New Year. Our expectations have been tempered by the past 2 years. May we have a good enough New Year. I love you all. Unmute yourselves. We can say hi, goodbye, and stay for a breakout group if you possibly can. It's just 20 minutes or so.